You're welcome to the today online class that is audio and video that is called virtual class. You can see and you can hear me also. So it is called audio visual class or online class or virtual class. And I have already given to the SLW 646 and tomorrow they are going to face the examination. But I told you that my first question is in a problem question which is connected with the subject that is the international disputes are concerned. That is the advanced international dispute settlement law. That is the course where I dealt the cases which are important in the examination point of view is aerial herbicide spraying, that is Ecuador versus Colombia, and Be Water Gulf Tanzania Limited versus Climate, and the United Republic of Tanzania, they are responding. And another important case law is the Curfew Channel, United Kingdom of the Great Britain, and Northern Ireland versus Albania. And we discussed in the class also, and I have given a long decision in this regard. And when we discussed also Dawson's Holding, that is the South Africa Tanzania Electric Supply Company Limited. I think we did not discuss, but I have given the case details in that one. And when you come to the matter of the Jadhav, that is India versus Pakistan, yes, it is the decision is incomplete, but execution of Jadhav, Kulbhushan Jadhav, and who is having the passport of India and held in Pakistan because he made an attempt with espionage against the government of Pakistan, and he accepted also in one of the questioning. And when we discuss MIV Saiga, that is the Saint Vincent and the Grenadines versus Guinea, that is the first case law of the international, that is the law of sea case law. This is, if I not be mistaken. Yes, that case law also very important that I discussed in the class, and we made it a detailed study also. And I believe that that is the case law where in the law of the sea decided, and where from the Tanzania, and it is I think the Stefano Varioba. I don't know the full name of Varioba. Raymond, could you say that the judge is from the Tanzania is represented a judge in the law of the sea, Heidelberg in Germany. What Varioba? We discussed in the class. He is the person from the Tanzania. Are you hearing me? Raymond. And the Standard Chartered Bank Hong Kong Limited versus Tanzania Electricity Supply Company Limited. Yes, it is also international dispute. And they made the tribunal. Again, they filed a case in the particular court. And the court has given the judgment. And this is also an examination point of view. And Sun Lodge versus BVI and Sun Lodge Tea Limited versus United Republic of Tanzania. Then I asked you to attempt any one of the case law by reading the entire judgment of the case law so that we could know how the international disputes are resolved by following what norms. Domestic law or the contractual party which made the contract, and following the which is the applicable law would be followed, and which country, not which country, which court is having the jurisdiction to entertain if there is any breach of a contract. So, if they fail to get the judgment over there, or if any of the party feel that the judgment is not given the fair trial, they can file a case in the respective government state and the competent court for the decision making, like the Tenesco versus Dawson case law that we have studied. Raymond, are you hearing me? Unmute and say yes. Unmute and say yes. The MDB also joined, and Karibusana, And I told you, you prepare any one of the case law, and in the examination I will give the facts of the case law, which is nothing but the problem form. Then I will ask you to solve the problem. The international mode is the IRAC model. Either you go anywhere in the law school of Tanzania also, they teach you what is the IRAC model and what is the PFIRAC method. In the case briefing is concerned, when the full judgment is given, at that instance we will ask for the case briefing in the form of the PFIRAC. When the problem question is given, at that instant that they will ask attempt the problem question by following the IRAC method or structure. And I'm sure that in the last year that you did such a case law. Am I right? Answer. It gives the sense to me that you are hearing me and I am hearing you, and both are sailing in the same boat to reach to the destination. Unmute and say. I could see both the Raymond Cosmos microphone and MDB. I don't know what is the full form of MDB. Even his microphone also. So these are the cases I discussed I asked you to read it, but I told them to make the practice, and tomorrow is the last date and tomorrow evening your class is there. If I discuss the Ecuador case law, that is Colombia, what is the name of the case law? It is a aerial herbicide spraying Ecuador versus Colombia case law, and it is also done by the International Court of Justice. The aerial herbicide spraying within parentheses Ecuador versus Colombia, if I'm right in the pronouncing the Ecuador or Ecuador, I don't know, but the spelling is Ecuador and the Colombia. So the history of the proceeding is Pitali Kitenge Karibusana. And 31st March 2008, Ecuador seized. Yes, Karibusana. Ecuador seized the court of the dispute between itself and the Colombia concerning the alleged aerial spraying by the Colombia for the toxic herbicide at the location near and across its border with Ecuador. They made the aerial spraying of the herbicide to kill certain crops should not be grown over there, which are against the government to grow. In its application, Ecuador states that the spraying has already caused the serious damage to the people, to the crops, to animals, and to the natural environment on the Ecuadorian side of the frontier, means the border side of the Ecuadorian. Because who sprayed the toxic airs? Colombia. Aerial herbicide. Did you know what is meant by aerial herbicide? Anyone can unmute and say. If you know it, you say. If you don't know it, you say pass on. Without wasting the time, I will give the answer. Haraka. Say, sir, I don't know. Or say, pass on. Question is, what is aerial herbicide?
Pass of four.
See, that is a self-explanatory it is. Aerial means in the air. Is it clear?
Poisoning by the air.
Herbicide means a killing of some insects which will eat the herb. Like insecticide is there, herbicide is there. There are different type of killing the insects which are eating the herbs, leaves of the herbs and shrubs. So aerial herbicide spraying by using the helicopter or small chartered planes, they will make over the crops for the killing some of the insecticide, means some pesticides used over there to kill the germs, insects, which is eating away the herbs or crops. That is called the aerial spraying. So Colombia has made such an aerial spraying. and toxic herbicide and location near the equator, I mean the border, and spraying already caused the serious damage to the people of the equator and the crops and animals and the natural environment on the equatorial side of the frontier, means the border sides, grave risk for the further damages over the time. It further contended that it has made a repeated and sustained efforts to negotiate an end to the fumigations. The fumigation they can made it out to kill the any type of the rodents or insecticides like Najwa Mende. Fumigation we can do it. We can kill the Mende in Kiswahili. Nini sema Kiingereza? Sema Kiingereza. Mwende. Mwenge.
Cockroach proof.
Cockroach. Why you are taking so much? It is your mother tongue. I did not say other word. Kifocha Mende. I did not say. I say Mende only. Did you got my point? Say yes.
Yes, proof.
Yes, but the
Yes, bro.
negotiations have proved unsuccessful, and Ecuador accordingly requests the court to adjudicate the declare the matter because they requested, but the Colombia did not hear. They filed a case in the International Court of Justice. Where is this International Court of Justice? Especially the people of SLW 646 should have supposed to give the answer. Where is this
Repeat the question, bro.
ICJ? Sir, it is in Imbeya. Sema.
It is in Bear.
ICJ, International Court of Justice, is in Netherlands. Hague, the palace, it is situated there. Earlier also, International Criminal Court also there in the palace, but now they shifted to some other area. But both the International Court of Justice as well as International Criminal Court, both are there in The Hague, Netherlands. And to adjudicate it, they filed in the ACJ, who Ecuador. Colombia has violated its obligation under the international law by causing or allowing the deposit on the territory of the Ecuador of toxic herbicide and have caused damage to the human health, property, and the environment. So Colombia shall indemnify the Ecuador for loss or damage caused by its internationally unlawful acts, namely the use of herbicides, including by aerial dispersion and in particular. See, you can use the hand pump and make the spraying or the herbs to kill the insects. But the aerial spraying, if you make it out, it mixes with the air and it will be carried to the other areas also. And those are very toxic substance and they will damage the even flora and fauna as well as the people health also. And the air also contaminated. So sometimes if the toxic nature is more, even death also occurs or casualty also occurs. So death or injury to the health of any person or persons arising from the use of such a herbicide because those are a toxic substance. Any loss of damage to the property or livelihood or the human rights of such a person, it is nothing but the human right violation also. The environmental damage and the depletion of the natural resources also because of the such a toxic nature in the air. The cost of the monitoring, the identifying the assets, and the Colombia shall, in respect to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Ecuador, so and they can have a right to make the aerial spray, but it should not escape from that place to the other place. If any hazardous substance escape from your own place to other place cause an injury to the neighbor, what is the notable case law? Cause an injury to the neighbor. What is the name of the case law in the tort law?
Prof, could you please repeat?
Excuse me.
Because there was an internet problem.
There is one case law is there in the law of tort. If you pile up any hazardous substance in your occupation or in your land, however you take all the precautionary methods, but still the hazardous substance escapes from your land and moves to the other land and causes the injury to it. And we studied this case law, that is the landmark case law, and which is having the 5 exceptions.
Then, Prof, I think it's a case of Rayland versus Fletcher, if I'm not
It is
mistaken.
the Ryland versus Fletcher case law. In the Ryland versus Fletcher case law, it was a strict liability is concerned. But the strict liability concept is changed by a remarkable case law which has happened in India. The concept of the strict liability changed into the absolute liability. What is that case law? Landmark case law, where the absolute liability concept has emerged. Anyone in the tort case law? It comes to the environmental case law also. Oleum gas case law. That is MC Mehta versus Shriram factory. That is generated a toxic substance moved from the factory and caused the injury to the flora and fauna, including the people, those who are using the water for the drinking purpose. And it is strengthened, it is consolidated, it is solidified by the another case law. There is a very important case law, and which is happened in India, that is Bhopal. Can you tell me what is the name of the case law? It will be also known as Bhopal gas tragedy case law. World famous. Yes. If you don't know, you say pass on. I will give the answer. Don't kill the time.
Pass on, Prof. Pass on.
Union Carbide versus Union of India. The Union Carbide, which are manufacturing the insecticides, pesticides, and fertilizers in the Bhopal proper town. It is a multinational company, Union Carbide of India. And if you happen to see the everyday shells battery, which you use in the batteries, hand batteries, every day, it is manufactured by the Union Carbide. It is a multinational company having in many countries their own factories. So, a toxic gas. What is the name of the gas? Anyone? What is the name of the gas which is leaked in the Bhopal in the night of the 23 and 24 December, if I am not be mistaken? What is the name of the gas?
I'm sorry, Prof. Pass on.
Methyl
Pass on.
isocyanide. MIC. M-I-C. MIC. M-I-C. Methyl isocyanide. That gas leaked from the company because the valve burst, and they have taken all the measures to see that nothing will be escaped, but the defense is not applied over there, because whenever a person collected or accumulated hazardous substance in his premises, in his land, and you should see that he should not be escaped from the land and cause an injury, however he may have taken a lot of care. Merely escape is enough. The strict liability 5 exceptions will not be applicable, and the absolute liability will come into the picture over there. So now the concept of the strict liability is changed to the absolute liability in all the environmental cases, in all the manufacturing cases. And we studied mainly the environmental cases, MC Mehta versus Union of India. There are at least 5 to 6 cases are there with the same title, but the year is different. Is it clear?
Yes,
Say.
Prof.
So here, if anything escapes and causes an injury to the other person or neighbor, it is you who are held liable, even though you do have every right to spray in your own land, but it should not escape from your place to other border and causing the injury to the other people. So that is the prohibit the use by means of the aerial dispersion, means spraying for say herbicide in Ecuador or near or any part of its border with Ecuador. So on the basis of the court jurisdiction, Ecuador invokes in its application article, how many, what is the number in the Roman number, tell me? Article
31. Article 31.
Article 31 X10 1 31 of the American Treaty on Pacific Settlement of the 30th April 1948, officially known as the Pact of Bogota. It is the Pact of Bogota according to which both the states are parties for the Bogota Pact, and the Ecuador also refer to the Article 32 of the 1988 United Nations Convention against the illicit traffic in the narcotic drugs and psychopathic substances. What is this narcotic drugs and psychopathic substances? Anyone? What is this narcotic drugs and psychopathic substances? Sema ungawa ingano, ungawa michele, ungawa muhindi. Is it?
Sorry, could you repeat, Prof?
Say pasan if you don't know.
Pass on.
Brown sugar, heroin, charas, ganja, opium, which causes the hallucination, and such substances are called narcotic drugs and psychopathic substances. The penalty is death if you take any narcotic drugs to the Saudi Arabia. In other countries also, it is a capital punishment, either to import or export. But such a drugs can be grown by the license from the government, by the government companies, or they give the license to the private people to grow such a herbs. From there, the psychopathic substances can be used for the medical purposes. Is it clear?
But
I don't know whether in Tanzania it is there or not. See, opium plants are grown with the permission of the government, and that opium plants will be sold to the government because they will prepare the medicine from it. Like that, many substances are there which are causing the hallucination. Najwa, what is hallucination? Najwa usijui.
pass or proof.
Hallucination means mlevi. Sema Kiingereza.
Oh,
Sema Kiingereza.
mlevi.
Mlevi.
Drunkard.
Intoxicated, drunkard, drinking. And when you drink hallucination, you cannot walk properly. Am I right?
It depends.
Depend upon the quantity and your resistance power. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
You don't know whether, have you gone to Lushoto? Anyone gone to Lushoto? Say
None
yes
of
or
us,
no.
no, Prof.
Why you are
But
saying
we can have.
no, bro? So you
Nimechoka,
make
Prof.
the
I'm tired
promise.
kidogo.
I born in Monza, Malimbe. I grown in Malimbe. I die in Malimbe. Is it?
No, Prof. I'm from Kilimanjaro. From
If you go to
Kilimanjaro, the southern part.
Lushoto, there is a drink, very cheap drink it is there. And then I asked them, can you give me at least 500? They asked me one. I say, what do you do with the 500? Sir, I would like to have something. What is that? They say banana. The Indizi drink is there, which is just 500. Something like that. And he said he wants to
Yes.
drink. It is prepared with the banana. So it is an intoxicated drink, it is. It is a raw drink. Just they say one peg is enough. He say Nimetosha. So why I am giving this? Such plants are grown by the permission of the government, number one. Number two, government itself have their own plantation. So that can be used only for the drugs purposes, for the using the medicines. But the people will sell it outside for the habit of like a drinking habit. The people will take the drugs also to feel intoxicated. So my point is here is Escobar reaffirms the opposition to the export and the consumption of the illegal narcotic drugs, but stresses that the issue it's present the court related exclusively to the method of the location of the Colombia operations to eradicate the illicit coca. This coca and poppy plantation is used for the narcotic drugs. Coca you can use. I don't know. The poppy seeds are prohibited. They ban it. No one can bring the poppy seeds. In Urdu we say gasa. In Urdu it's like a white round seeds like the pepper, but it is small in size, and we say gasalas in our terminology, and that will not be exported because people make the hallucination drink with the poppy seeds. And of course, you can make the even drinks also with the sugar cane. The sugar cane will be and banana they mix together or banana they fermented it and keep for the at least 7 to 8 days and it will be fermented and from there they will burn it and they will make the kupika that is local pombe. That you are local pombe. So those are all illicit things. Of course, the government will ban it because the government itself will prepare some of the drinks and sell it to the market, which is not that much harmful. So my point of saying is, government will allow to make such a herbs, make the plantation, which can be used as a drugs, and such a drugs would be there, would not be exported. So that can be used only for the medicine purposes. So here they said the time limit they have given filing the memorial by the Ecuador and the time limit for the filing the counter memorial. I don't know whether I believe that you know the memorials. In the moot court there is a memorials are there. Plaintiff's memorial and the defendant memorial. And when you give the notice to them and they will give the written statement. Those who are practicing advocate they know it. And these two pleadings were fully filed by the parties within the time limit then prescribed, and more details in the annual report of the ICJ available in this link. They say, and directed the Ecuador to submit the reply and Republic of Congo to submit the rejoinder and set date for the reply of the Ecuador and the rejoinder of the Colombia, the press release which is given in the 2010. The court fixed 31 January 2011 and 1st December 2011 as the respective time limit for the filing of these written pleadings. So when you file a notice would be given, an allegation would be made, and there the written statement will be filed by the opposite parties. Of course, time limit should be given to them to give the explanation. The court made the decision making the account of the agreement of the parties and of the circumstances of the case. They say time limit for the filing the rejoinder of the Republic of Colombia is over. The subsequent proceedings have been reserved for the further decision. So overall what is happened over there in this case law, They said if really the damages happened over there, then definitely the Colombia should have to make it up. If the no damage is proved over there at that instance, they say resolved in your local court rather than coming to this court, because International Court of Justice cannot go to the Ecuador, cannot go to the Colombia, but the local courts, the high courts, or the Court of Appeal, or the Supreme Court, or the respective courts, yes, they can deal it. So Ecuador has issued a proceeding of the ICJ claiming that the Colombia aerial fumigation campaign has caused the serious damage to the people and crops, to animals, and to the natural environment on the Ecuadorian side of the frontier. And Colombia is currently the only country in the world to utilize the aerial fumigation as a method of illicit crop eradication. If it is illegal crop eradication, yes, please tell me.
So in this scenario, what are the issues in this case?
Number one, if anybody keeps dangerous things, they are keeping at their own peril or peril. Number two, absolute liability would be there. Number three, strict liability rules cannot be applied over there, because strict liability is having the 5 exceptions. And 5 exceptions, people will take the defend of it. When you keep a hazardous thing or making a hazardous thing in your place, at that instance, you have to take all the care and see that the escape should not cause any harm to the neighboring country or neighboring people. For instance, you are having the shamba and you will cut out all the useless plants and you make it dry. Later on, you burn it. When you are burning it in your own land, see that the flame should not be carried into your neighbor's land and destroy the straw bundles over there or the crop over there. Because even though you have every right to burn in your own land, but see that it should not even escape from your land. If once it is escaped from your land, cause the injury to the neighbor, then the absolute liability will come into the picture, not the strict liability. Because burning it in a small quantity, no matter, a big quantity, when there is a area with the heavy waves are there, yes, it's amount to your risk. So you are doing on your own peril or on your risk, and you cannot say that I have taken all the due care. No. Here the Colombia is given the only country will be allowed the aeration or fumigation, because Colombia the people will make so many narcotic drugs plants. They cultivate it. And these people, by spraying, they want to eradicate such a narcotic drugs plants so that they could not be grown. For instance, you take earlier, even now also, I don't think where the tree are there. Afghanistan is the door for getting the lot of narcotic drugs from the other countries to India. But I don't know whether it is now it is a true or false. The most of the drugs come from via Afghanistan, because there is a by road is there. I don't know whether it is grown here also. In our place also, yes. People will, in the middle of their field, they will go opium, afim plants. Surrounding Mohandi is there. Means maize is there. Around maize is their plantation. In the middle, they will grow this, because it is very rich. But if you cut out, a case would be booked against you. But if they sold it, they'd have a lot of money. There are many people are buying it, because from it charas will come, opium will be produced, that can be used in the smoking, in the cigarettes. You know, the cigarettes, they remove some of the tobacco and they will fill it and they will enjoy the smoking. It gives the hallucination, like drinking a high whiskey 90 ml. Are you following me?
Yes, Prof.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Prof.
So you have to use your tumia Bongo atomia akili. Which one is the appropriate word? Use your brain and frame the issues and see that what are the supporting cases, even though that cases is not in the judgment. Are you following me?
Yeah.
But
Yes, Prof.
in judgment, definitely there will be the cases. But if there is no cases, if you refer it, if there is no cases, let me presume it. But you know the issues. What are the issues? Just now I told you. Are you following me? See, I am giving you one of the explanation. How you can
The
write
structural
the IRAC model. Because in the case law, what I do now, Colombia has made the aerial spraying of the herbicide to kill eradicate the narcotic plants in their own area. But the aerial fumigation has reached to the Ecuador and it caused the damage to the people, flora and fauna, including the crops, and they suffered a irreparable loss. And they made the negotiations not to do it in the border area, but still they did not do so. Hence, Ecuador has tapped the door of the International Court of Justice for the adjudication of these international disputes. Then solve the problem. What the International Court of Justice has taken the decision, or who will be held liable for such a regard, and solve this problem question in the IRAC model. I have already given the facts which are nothing but the problem. Then what you have to do? Find out what are the issues from there. And what are the supporting case laws. For that regard, you have to read the entire case law, original case law. Suppose if you did not find the original case law, any cases, let me presume it. If this case law is asked in the examination, I am giving the example. At that instance, you can frame the first question issue. Whenever any person accumulated the hazardous substance, when it escapes, his liability would be there. Or whenever a person accumulated a hazardous substance, he is accumulated on his own peril or risk. Number one. Number two, if any hazardous substance escapes from its premises and causes the injury, and he would be held liable or not. Or number three, if any other appropriate remedy available which deems fit by the court. Are you following me? Of course, we write in
yes,
the prayer.
Prof.
We write in the prayer that one. But we can make it. Whether the compensation will be paid by the Colombian to the victim or not. Over. You can frame the three issues. And for three issues, you have to see what are the supporting case laws. Either you can use the municipal case law, you can use the international case law, you can use any case law which will strengthen your issue. Which will strengthen your issue.
Issue.
Yes. Even though it is not there in your judgment. Some of the decided cases I saw, the Court of Appeal in Tanzania, not a single case law is cited over there. Not a single case law for the persuasive value. But if such a question is given to the students, to mine, I told them, Tumia Akili, you find out what are the relevant cases should be there where you can strengthen, because it's the take-home examination, assignment. It's a group assignment. And you can submit your answer, even though it is not there in the judgment. And again, you can also write my opinion in the Chini. You say, my opinion. If you disagree the judgment of the ICJ, You can give your own opinion based on your own logic. Is it clear?
Yes, Prof.
Suppose,
It is clear, Prof.
you know, boom. What is meant by boom? I asked him, when
What?
you foreign in Bali at the ATM CRDB, sir, boom.
Boom?
Yes.
No, sir. I don't get you.
You don't know boom.
You okay.
The-
The loan board has given the money to the student, and
Yes, now
hence
we understand you, Prof.
there is a Bali queue at the ATM.
Okay.
You don't know boom.
We understand now.
Yes, yes.
We understand now. I understand now, Prof.
Yes. So when there is a boom, there is a big falling would be there. When you got the boom, suppose if you purchase a music system, can you play the music system volume 12 at the night 12 o'clock in the hostel? Did you understand my question first?
No,
You
Prof.
I
got the
understood.
boom and you got the money and you purchase a new music system, a radio or a tape recorder or any music gadget, and you are playing the music in the hostel, night 12 o'clock. Can you do so? Even though you are making the others to enjoy the music, but that is not the right time to play the music. That is the time to sleep. Are you following me? Even though you are enjoying the music system in your own house, but the sound travels and disturbs your neighbor and he file a case against you with a nuisance. Is it clear? Is it clear?
lot of time working on social media for my clients. I create a lot of video content